Wow. Good morning. I have just concluded 2 days of meetings with the leaders of United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. This visit came at a critical moment in the context of a fragile ceasefire and the unjustifiable attacks these countries have faced. The European Union stands in full solidarity with the countries and people of the Gulf. Iran's attacks have violated their sovereignty and territorial integrity, and this is unacceptable. We also deeply appreciate the care of our Gulf partners have taken to ensure the safety of many European citizens living in the region. In my discussions, I reaffirm that the European Union is a reliable partner for the Gulf countries. The Gulf countries can count on the European Union now and in the future. The purpose of my visit was simple: listen to the leaders, get their assessment of the current situation, and offer the support of the European Union, with two main priorities in mind. First, work towards a stable and lasting ceasefire that could pave the way to sustainable peace in the region. Second, restore freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz. Since the beginning of this conflict, the European Union has been consistent in calling for the de-escalation and negotiations in full respect of international law. It is essential that all parties use the momentum created by the recent United States-Iran ceasefire brokered by Pakistan in order to address the concerns of the international community regarding Iran. That means nuclear program, of course, but also its ballistic missile program, Iran's support to proxies destabilizing the region, and the blockade of the international sea lanes. The Strait of Hormuz and the Red Sea are vital arteries for the global economy, supply chains, and world trade. This war has already had disastrous consequences that are being felt all over the world, and that will only get worse with every day without a solution to this conflict. Restoring freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz is crucial and urgent, and Europe is committed to help guarantee the safe and unimpeded passage of ships. This is the objective of the coalition of countries that France and the United Kingdom are assembling with partners around the world. Before concluding, let me say a few words in particular about the situation in Lebanon. Hezbollah poses an existential threat for Lebanon and a dangerous destabilizing factor for international peace and security. The European Union commends President Aoun's historic decision to ban the military activities of Hezbollah. The European Union will continue to support Lebanon, empowering the authorities to disarm Hezbollah is the only sustainable solution for restoring Lebanon's international stability. The negotiations held yesterday between Israel and Lebanon in Washington are a welcome step. It is crucial that these talks continue and yield results for the sake of the people and for the prospect of peace. Let me conclude by repeating that the European Union is a reliable and predictable partner for the Gulf countries. We are here to support the region's stability and security. We want to make our cooperation deeper and stronger, and this is the message I heard from all leaders I met this week. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have the time to take a few questions. I will start with Qatar TV.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm Amina Abdullah from Qatar TV. So my first question is, how do you assess the impact of tensions in the Strait of Hormuz on maritime stability and energy supplies in Europe, and what are your next steps? The second question is, how do you see Qatar's ability to play a key role in maintaining maritime stability and ensuring the continuity of energy supplies?
First of all, Qatar is an honest broker for peace and stability in the region. They have already proved this during the war in Gaza, and is now doing their work to come to stabilize the ceasefire, to obtain a lasting ceasefire and create conditions to open the negotiations to can address the main issues: the nuclear program, the ballistic program, the support of the proxies who are destabilizing the region. Then we rely on Qatar to continue to do this. Of course, the blockage of the Strait of Hormuz is very dangerous for the global economy, and all the world is already suffering the impact of this illegal blockage. It's urgent to ensure the freedom of navigation. We know that Qatar is engaged to support all the talks on this, and as I said, the European countries are joining the efforts led by France and the United Kingdom to ensure a broad coalition to protect and ensure the freedom of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz.
Thank you. Next is Euronews.
Hello, Mr. Costa. Adolfo, Euronews. Qatari officials have repeatedly said that during times of conflict, this is where you know where your friends are. After Europe's strong support for Gulf countries during the war, what concrete steps will follow your talks here to deepen EU-GCC relations?
What I listen for from all the leaders is that more than ever it's important that the European Union and the Gulf cooperation countries could work together between the EU and the GCC, but also bilaterally with each Gulf state. And we are keen to do this. We are negotiating free trade agreements with some of them, strategic partnership with the others, and we are talking with all of them. And we are looking forward to have a second summit between the European Union and the GCC by the end of this year, now in the Gulf. Then I believe that it's possible to identify and build and have concrete deliverables who justify the second summit. And I think more than ever, it's very important that we achieve this.
Thank you. I will give the floor to Qatar News Agency.
Hello, Mr. Costa. This is Mohammed Hadi from Qatar News Agency. I have two questions. The first one is, what the message does the EU carry for Qatar and the Gulf countries amid ongoing instability here in the area? And the second question, do EU countries play any role to support the talks between USA and Iran? Thank you.
Since day one, we are calling all the parts to de-escalate, to use the maximum restraint, and to open a space for diplomacy. Then we are very supportive of the talks brokered by Pakistan and others in order to consolidate the ceasefire, to obtain a lasting ceasefire, and give the opportunity to address the main issues that we need to address. We need an agreement on the nuclear, on the ballistic missiles, on the support of the proxies. But for this we need time, and to have time we need a lasting ceasefire. And at the same time we need to open immediately the Strait of Hormuz to reestablish the freedom of navigation. And we are supporting also and welcome the talks between Israel and Lebanon in order to ensure the sovereignty of Lebanon, the territorial integrity of Lebanon, and to give room to the Lebanese authorities to deliver what they committed to deliver, to disarm Hezbollah.
Thank you. We have time for one final question. Sky News, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Faisal Marzouki from Sky News Arabia. Do you agree with what Kaya Kallas said in an interview that we have Russian-Ukrainian war? We haven't seen Gulf countries helping us there, taking into consideration the mediation took place in Saudi Arabia and UAE, the prisoners exchange UAE played a role in it, and the energy support from Qatar.
I came here to say to the Gulf states that we are supporting them. We don't have an armed force, but several member states deploy military capabilities to support the defense of the Gulf states. We are giving diplomatic and political support to the Gulf states to defend themselves, and we clearly condemn Iran from their attacks against the Gulf states. Then is no doubt about our support to the Gulf states. But what is clear that we are living challenging times, and these challenging times we need to uphold the international rules-based order, because the alternative of the international rules-based order is the chaos, is what we have seen in Ukraine, is what we are seeing here in the Gulf, is what we are seeing in Iran. Then what we need from the entire international community is uphold the international rules-based order, to uphold the multilateral system, and much of all, the United Nations, because the United Nations is the backbone of our multilateral system. Thank you very much.